Dawn Capital has made a name for itself over the last several years for having a sharp eye when it comes to spotting interesting B2B startups in Europe before they become big, with companies like iZettle, acquired by PayPal last year for $2.2 billion, Mimecast, IPO'd and now worth $2.8 billion, Calibra and Showpad among its stable. Today, it's announcing the close of a new fund that will help it capitalize on those growing bets more directly itself. The $125 million Opportunities Fund, as it is called, will be used by London-based Dawn to make larger investments in a smaller, cherry-picked selection of startups that it has already backed in earlier stages. It comes on the heels of Dawn also closing a bigger fund of $235 million, Dawn 3, for those Series A and B rounds, and brings the total raised by the firm to $360 million for the year. Dawn will continue to partner with larger VCs that have led many of the later stage rounds in its portfolio companies. Follow-on investor names that have been involved in multiple Dawn companies have included Insight, Index Ventures, KPCB, Battery Ventures and Iconic, but now it will also occasionally be taking a leading role in the rounds, or at least making investments on par with those of the partners. The move to making bets of tens of millions on a smaller group of companies at Series C stage and beyond is part of Dawn's ethos to provide not just money, but advice and assistance to founders to help them realize opportunities and grow into them. "We exist to serve our founders," said Hakan Overly, the general partner who co-founded Dawn Capital with Norman Fiore. "They are much better at doing their jobs than the founders of 25 years ago, and we don't want them running around fundraising all the time. Getting bigger checks means they don't have to." Indeed, the closing of the Opportunities Fund highlights how the European tech ecosystem, and specifically the startup ecosystem, has evolved over the last several years. As Fiore describes it, raising smaller amounts on a rolling or more frequent basis was the norm for many founders before the rise of larger 2- and 3-figure million-dollar rounds came onto the scene. Case in point, you can see the jump effect on overall funding in this report on Tech EU. Last year saw €24.7 billion in funding for European startups. Although that was slightly down on €25 billion the year before, the number of deals dropped from 3,400 to 3,000, meaning the average size of the deal has grown.